The composter needs a buff. Hello everybody, my name is Waddles, I hope you're doing well. This is a short video on how the brand new composter block could potentially be improved upon without making it too overpowered. Blocks like this one should add something to the game, some sort of use without adding or changing too much. In its current form, the composter is kind of forgettable. Every good conversation needs more than one mind though. How would you improve the composter? Tell me down below. And if you enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. So first, a quick recap. The 19W03A snapshot added in a new block that is called the composter. Composter. Not composter, not composter, composter. Mind, that's just how I prefer to say it. Anyways, you can put a whole variety of organic materials into this thing. And I mean a whole variety. You can put leaves, grass, potatoes, carrots, seeds even, a lot of things. After a good amount of materials are deposited into the composter, you're rewarded with one bone meal. Yeah, that's kinda lame. My first idea to help improve the composter is pretty straightforward. In its current state, it is not uncommon to need to put 10 or more items into the composter for a single bone meal. Yeah, that's just not a great trade-off at all, like ever. Even if you have tons of, say, like potatoes or something, you'd probably be better off just keeping them somewhere or possibly even just trading them to a villager or something like that. I just put 20 potatoes in and got one bone meal. Yeah, it's just not worth it all the time. But lowering the average amount required to fill this thing would make the composter a whole lot more worth it. If the required average item amount were lowered to, say, something like an average of 8 or something, just a little less, the trade-off would be just a little bit better. I mean, from my point of view, I don't see much of a point in using the composter if I could possibly have to put something like 15 items into this thing for one bone meal. If the average input amount were lowered just a bit, I know I would be way more inclined to actually use the composter for composting things instead of a wonderful beehive or wall design. Raised bone meal amounts. I feel that this solution to the composter problem is the best, probably. Instead of changing any input amount, change the output amount. Now, to preserve the integrity of the game and the slight realism of the composter, the amount shouldn't be too high. I'd say it'd be fair to expect anything from 2 to 5 bone meal from the composter. Now, your input amounts would still be completely the same. Think of this randomized system as a system similar to the mob drop system for some mobs. So for example, in the zombies case, sometimes you'll get 0 rotten flesh from a zombie, or if you're really lucky, maybe you'll get 2 rotten flesh from the zombie. It's kind of randomized. A slightly raised base output amount would provide a slightly greater payoff, no matter what. This randomized amount system would also make players opt to use the composter more because the potential payoff is actually fairly decent. Still not the best, but better. And our third and final idea in today's video involves a total rework of the composter. The composter is brand new, and that means there's a whole lot of room for potential change. In fact, this composter is so new that in a few weeks' time, the information in this video could be completely out of date because it's been totally reworked. I did find one data pack that brings a potential rework to the table in the form of sort of a machine. Punk's useful composter data pack gives composters the ability to bone meal crops near the composter in a 4-block radius, meaning the same amount of area from the composter that a single water source can keep watered. In this data pack, for each level of compost, the composter will feed 4 crops around it some bone meal. Now, honestly, do I believe the composter needs a total rework? No, not really, but it is a potential idea. If turned into a machine like this, the composter will, of course, get even more use. As you maybe just noticed in there, some of the crops were bone mealed. But this starts to break the vanilla aspect of the game and makes the composter, in my opinion, something that's made out of wood, a little crazy OP. But of course, it's totally up to you. There will be a link to this data pack down in the description below. What do you think? If you were going to give the composter a total rework, what would you do? What would you turn it into? How would you improve the composter in general? My name is Waddles. I hope you've enjoyed this short little composter idea video. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, and please consider subscribing if you really enjoyed it. If you want to stay in the know as to what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter. If you want to talk about ideas, maybe go check out my subreddit and make a post or even slide into the Discord. And if you love what I do and you want to support me directly, I do have a Patreon where you can do so. All of that fancy stuff is linked down below. And if you're considering starting a server, use code Waddles with CubeToast for 25% off your first month. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.